Welcome back. This is Trading Hour. I'm Reema Tendulkar. With me is Prashant Nair. Markets are building up on the momentum. So in fact, now it's higher for the fifth consecutive day and at that 11,600 mark, which is erstwhile seen as a bit of a resistance according to a lot of the technical analysts. The good thing is that we've started seeing higher lows in the last 5 days. If you can pull up the trading data, you would see that on 20th of August, the low was about the 11,300 mark, and that is steadily inched up. Just giving you a sense of the bullish uptrend. And even today, the low is at 11,583. Hi, Prashant. And this whole churn, the move to banks continue, small caps continue to outperform.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Reema, the Nifty is basically almost, not almost, but some distance away, but pretty close to its previous highs, right? I mean, it wouldn't take very much. It'll take probably 2 weeks of strong momentum markets like this to get back to where it fell from before COVID. The bank Nifty has yet to come up to, I think it's not even at the 50% retracement of the full fall from the February highs to the March lows. I mean, if you take a retracement. So that's how strong the underperformance has been, and that is just getting corrected. And by the way, this is still, I think, day 5 of the move that that began last Thursday or Friday. So, I mean, if this move has to build on, I mean, this is just we're still in the early stages of the move. I mean, you want to replicate what's happened to other parts of the market, to what may happen in banks, then you have to say that this is just the initial parts of the move that we are seeing. Look at stocks go, though. I mean, I just want to put up SBI. So it was struggling around just under the 200 rupee mark for the longest time. Now it's pushed higher. I mean, it's at about, 215 now. That is clearly something which is pushing higher. And then you look at the absolutely underperforming part of the banking NBFC space. Put up something like a REPCO Finance. I just ran a quick screen on, which are the stocks which are in the banking NBFC space which have rebounded the least from the lows of March, and REPCO came in as one of the stocks. Okay, I think it's not on circuit, but for the past so many days, it's basically been moving circuit to circuit. Now at 176, still about only 30% bounce from the lows of March. Whereas, I mean, most of the others have done at least 50, 60. Some, of course, have doubled from the lows. So, I mean, this is just, catch-up game getting played sectorally, which is banking, and within banking, stuff which is underperformed, which is names like REPCO, which is names like SBI in the public sector space. So we'll come back to this in greater detail, but let's go across to my colleague Sonal Bhutra, who's standing by. The government of Maharashtra is acting to try and stimulate the economy in the state. The latest news, of course, is that stamp duty on real estate transactions has been cut, from September to December, and then December to March as well. The rates will be different. Sonal, why don't you take us through, the news itself, and if you've been able to speak with companies operating here, what's the impact they see?
Well, absolutely. This has come across as a breather for the real estate companies, as Maharashtra has cut stamp duties temporarily till 31st of December. It has been cut from 5% to 2%, and after that for 3 months it has been cut from 5% to 3%. While it is beneficial for the sector as a whole, the biggest beneficiaries would be the affordable and the mid-housing segment. Anurag has done certain calculations, and there they say for a house costing around 80 lakh rupees, a 2% cut would lead to savings of around 1.5 lakh rupees for any buyer, and a 3% cut would lead to savings of around 2.5 lakh rupees. There is also a possibility, and analysts are expecting, that other states would follow suit, something like a Haryana and Karnataka, and builders also in response would go ahead and cut some prices. And that is why there is excitement in other stocks as well, like DLF and Prestige Estates, both up around 7 to 8%. However, Godrej Properties did tell us in the morning today that there is no possibility of further price cuts, because they do not think in last 8 years prices for real estate prices have gone up. In fact, they have remained quite stable. But let's see whether other states follow suit or not. But for today, it is quite a positive news. Back to you.
Thanks, Sonal, for that. Yes, it's premised, a volume uptick is premised on the fact that whether these real estate companies pass on the benefit to the consumers. But what's also aiding the sentiment is the fact that interest rates are at historically low levels. So the question is also whether, some people who've been watching the markets and waiting for a correction, will they use it and enter in at these points? DLF, as she said, is higher by nearly 12% now on hopes that states like Haryana will follow suit. In fact, earlier today, we had a chat with HDFC's Keki Mistry and Godrej Properties. Listen into what they had to say.
I think every little bit will help because, as I mentioned to you last time also, I can't get into August numbers, but if you see July, we have seen clearly a pickup in June and July. So hopefully this move by the Maharashtra government, which is very, very welcome and very needed, will give the spurt to Maharashtra and more so to places like Mumbai and Pune to also register the growth. But I think the other states may also follow suit because housing can spur economic growth in a big way because of the fact that it can create so many jobs.
Overall, we are seeing a positive, demand from the customers. Especially, we had a very strong Q1, and we continue to have a strong momentum even in Q2. So we remain optimistic and bullish. We have launched a project in Bangalore, and despite lockdowns and despite people not being able to move out of homes, we have seen strong, response to the project. Very surprisingly, people have accepted digital medium to buy homes, and we are seeing a lot of demand coming out of digital channels.
Okay, so that is basically the real estate market. I mean, but you've also got names like DLF. If you can have the stock up, it's seeing a really large move today. And let me just put up the contract here on my sort of screen. It's up 10%, 177. And it's a big surge that we're seeing on DLF. No impact whatsoever with regards to what stamp duty rates are here in the state of Maharashtra. But, the real estate pack generally has been doing well as well. And DLF is right now one of the leaders there. The state of Maharashtra has also waived off road tax for commercial vehicles. This is also going to, is expected to at least have a meaningful impact. Yash has got the details. Yash.
Well, after one stimulus, which was in the form of the stamp duty cut, another came in the form of waiver of road tax on commercial vehicles. So the Maharashtra government has approved waiving of 700 crore of road tax on commercial vehicles, and this would be applicable for 6 months starting April 1st to September 30th. Now, what kind of road vehicles, commercial vehicles would be included? Anything starting from tourist cabs, private services, school buses, luxury buses, goods carrier, amongst other commercial vehicles will come under this particular ambit. As far as Maharashtra as a state is concerned, not the first one to waive off the road tax on commercial vehicles. A few states have already done this, including Gujarat, Rajasthan, Uttarakhand, Haryana. Maharashtra just gets added to that particular list. Now, what is the larger impact of this cut? Of course, we know that the transport sector was one of the worst hit when it comes to the lockdown, where there was absolutely zero movement of these trucks. To give some sort of relief to that sector, this particular waiver has come about, and from the point of view of the state of Maharashtra, it's been viewed as a bold step simply because the debt burden for the state is at high levels, cross 5.4 lakh crore. But still, we are seeing some sort of breather coming back for various sectors, just with an intention to boost the economy.
Thanks, Yash, for that. Yes, Maharashtra has faced the brunt of the COVID pandemic. But let's move on. Every day, Nimesh goes through, reports from a dozen of brokerage houses and comes out with the one brokerage report that stands out. He's here with us today. Nimesh, which one do you have?
Hi, Rima. So today the standout report is UBS and banks. They've written a very extensive report on the financial space, and they believe that after with subsiding tail risk and recent underperformance of bank stocks, there is a room for upside from these levels. In fact, bank stocks have corrected between 12 to 62% Y2D and has underperformed the broader markets. So for the entire sector, they believe the downside is limited now, and hence they've upgraded few stocks. So they've upgraded SBI and IndusInd Bank from sell to buy, and they've raised the target price as well. So for SBI, the target price is increased from 260 to 260 now, from earlier price of 160. And for IndusInd Bank, the new target is 675 from the earlier target of 360. What is more interesting is, if I don't know whether the chart can come, but for SBI, the FY22 EPS of UBS was just 50 paisa. Now they have increased the FY22 EPS to 19.5. So that's a big jump in terms of EPS estimates for SBI for FY22, and hence the big upside to the target price as well. Within the other banking stocks, they maintain a buy on Axis Bank and ICICI Bank on valuations. The only stock in the private bank where they have a sell rating is Kotak Bank, and that's largely on the expensive valuation. So from the valuation point of view, they've maintained either a buy or a neutral on other banks. Only Kotak is a sell, and two big upgrades coming in today. One is on SBI and other was on IndusInd Bank.
Okay, that's UBS turning constructive on the banking stocks. Thanks, Nimesh, for highlighting this. We'll get into a break on that note. On the other side, Market Talk lined up with Rahul Arora of Nirmal Bang. Stay tuned.